This is episode 91 of the HYROX Coaching Podcast. In this episode, JK and I are going to discuss a little bit of hobbies. Then we're going to talk about CrossFit Open, the EMEA Regional for HYROX coming up. And then we get into the first part of our VO2Max discussion that gets a little cut off because there were some bees flying around in my recording area. So let's make hybrid fitness work for you.
Because I'm tight.
How's it going today, JK?
I'm well, thank you, Anthony. Happy Wednesday for me. Happy Tuesday for you.
Nice. Happy Wednesday for you. We were just talking right before we started this, and we just found out that we both play chess.com. And I was asking you, what's your username so I could find you as a friend? And then I realized I don't know if I want to add a bunch of people as friends because I have a very aggressive style of play, and it's not like a lot of people will, when you're playing chess, if you're like super aggressive, they're like, oh, that's not right. You shouldn't do that. Or like, why don't you resign if you're like losing on something? And I don't usually. I just play to the end and I play timed games.
Right, I get ya.
Yeah.
See,
So
yeah.
If you want to, and I'll delete it later if you want me to take it off later. What's your username?
No, my username's fine to, if anyone wants to play me on chess.com, my username is burpeesrocks with an X_JK. Burpeesrocks and the rocks has an X_JK.
Wow, you joined November 16th, 2025.
Yeah, and I've barely played, but I've got it. And the reason why I've got it is because back then, Ted, Petro, and I were like, I think we need like a hobby or something that's not fitness. Like, is there a hobby that not
just so
fitness?
you know, I'm sorry I cut you off. I can look at your profile. I just pulled it up, and it shows friends, and the only friend is a picture of you holding a chess piece, and it says Teddy checkmates JK as your friend. And
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm gonna add him as a friend too.
You should. But we started this because we were like, we need something to not distract us, but that's not fitness. And I played chess a little bit when I was young. Not well, but I know how to play, right? So it's like, yeah, let's get back into some chess. I don't know if I am not aggressive like you, Anthony, because I just play and just kind of see what happens. But hey, if anyone wants to play me in chess, burpeesrocks_JK.
Nice. I've been a member since March 9th, 2020 on chess.com. I used to play when I was really young, like elementary school, we played. I think I won my school when I was that old. I got a little trophy. Used to have a big like chess poster. It was pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were a chess man. So it was Ted. Ted was apparently a chess man back in the day. That's why he beats me all the time. So there you go.
Do you know? I didn't look at it. Do you know what your ELO is?
What's that?
Your rank, your point ranking? Oh, okay.
No idea. I know. It's been a while since I've been on this app, so I have no idea.
Cool.
I'm sure yours is going okay.
No, I mean I don't know. I don't know how high the ELOs go. I know that like Grandmaster is like 2,400, 3,200 or something like that. I'm not close to that. 2,700. Right. I could look up what Magnus Carlsen is, but we won't do that. Anyway, we were talking, we thought maybe other people would be interested. uh, than doing it. I'll say my I'll say my chess name on here. People can write in and challenge me. I don't mind. I don't play that often unless it's like a speed game though. Uh, so my chess .com name is Strongbad's Glove. Do you
Strong
know who
bad
Strongbad
stuff.
is?
No, I don't actually.
Wow. Uh this was back early 2000s. Strongbad. Uh you should look up Strongbad. Whole like series of things. Homestar
Strong bad.
Runner. Yeah.
Oh, so strong bad's not a chess player.
No.
No.
He's
Okay.
a like early 2000s uh internet thing. He used to like he's got boxing gloves on and he'd be like doing some spring cleaning and then he'd be like going through stuff and read about emo and be like deleted. Yeah, that's strong bad.
Strong bad. Strong bad. There you go. I was 6 years of age in 2000.
I was 12.
You were 12. There you go. Georgie was born in 2000. In 2000. There you go, mate. There you go. No, sorry, she was born 99. She'll get annoyed at me now that I said she was born in 2000. She was born in 1999. Makes a big difference.
Gotta get that little bit of the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, just on this, like I, as I said, the chess thing, I ain't good. I don't necessarily like. I don't. I'm like, oh my god. I'm not like, oh my god, I want to play. It's just like I know for a fact it's good to have a couple of different outlets to just fitness. Because man, like you'd be the same, Anthony. Like all I think about, all I care about is what's going on with myself and fitness. But then what's going on in the fitness world? It's. I think it's good to have a couple of outlets like that. Like that's one. Like Georgie and I watch a lot of like Netflix TV shows, like everyone. So that's another. I know Ted Petro, so Jess Petro's husband. He loves to go fishing. I haven't gone fishing with him yet, but I have to. But because that seems like a good little pastime. That's obviously not physical, which is nice.
So,
Um,
are there a lot of spots around where you guys live to go fishing? Because if there were more spots to fish around here, I would do it. Like when we were in Montana all last summer, I think I went fishing every day. I'd go off to the dock, I'd go out on a hydro bike. Like
I thought I saw you were fishing a little bit up
I
there.
love
Yeah,
fishing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's something about it. Yeah, like where we live, mate. It's great fishing. Actually, I can't say that because I never go, but I hear that it's great fishing. So yeah, what do you do, Anthony? Apart from fitness, like are there hobbies and things that you and Lauren do to kind of get yourself out of the grind?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of I don't know, it's just kind of like things we enjoy to do is we enjoy moving and walking and going and doing things. So like I'll go out, we'll go for walks, we'll go for hikes. Like
Yeah,
fitness is just kind of part of everything we do, but at the same time, we don't really go out to eat. We don't like sit down and watch a lot of movies. A lot of my time is consumed with like playing with Lily or teaching Lily
yeah,
something, like that's just the life of a parent. And then like I recently, every Tuesday when we record this, I go take Lily to gymnastics in the evening or the afternoon. Um, we work, do a lot of work things. Actually, my lightest days are not necessarily the weekends. They're actually like Thursday, Friday. So
right,
I'm actually usually work a lot on the computer on Saturdays and Sundays and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So um, Thursday, Fridays are actually like lighter days. And so with Lily being in preschool, she goes to preschool 3 days a week now. I usually get more time to do things like throughout the week and like actually get my workouts in. So when I get the opportunity now to get my workouts in, I like being able to do that. Um, but yeah, I learned like we talked about, usually like if I do watch something, like anything on the computer or TV, it's while I'm doing something else. It's just like a distraction from what I'm doing. And uh, more recently, I've been putting on past episodes of River Monsters, so watching
Yeah,
Jeremy Wade go fishing, and things like that. I like to build things, so usually, like this week, I've been cleaning out a room in our house and reorganizing like our garage gym. So like
yeah,
clearing up some space to make it like look better and make it feel better and getting rid of things. So I just kind of it's relaxing more to me to like clean and go through things.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, in terms of hobbies, like just kind of whatever comes up. Stay busy.
yeah,
Like actually finding
yeah,
time to relax is nice sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, it's funny, like using the word hobby, right? Because fitness, as you well, like my my fitness or moving even is my hobby as well.
yeah.
Like, mm, but then also it's kind of like on the flip side of that, it's like, well, I can say that fitness and moving is technically my job as well. So sometimes you just got to understand the balance of that, right? Like, but yeah, no, yeah, it's interesting because I've learned more so in the last couple of years being at a level where it is my job that I do need a couple of like not outlets because that sounds bad, but like just like things that aren't fitness. And to me, like our um, nighttime routine, like Georgie and my nighttime routine where we watch our TV show together, that's such an outlet for us because we pretty much phones away, works off at 5 6 p.m. and then dinner and a TV show is like what we kind of do every night, and then yeah, on the weekends yeah um, we love like just going out and walking and stuff like that as well. So yeah, it's good to have a couple of those things to get
Well,
to get out.
I'm sure it'd be different actually if we lived in a place like where you live, where the beach isn't far away, right? Like you
Yeah,
guys be able to go to the beach because we're in
yeah,
Montana over the summer. There's other things to do. There's like hikes to go on. There's, trails to hit up. There's little like community center shops within the like town we were at that we could have gone to and farmers markets and stuff. That we would go do that stuff. But like, where we're at right here, like we live in a city. There's our house. Like we'll go sit in the backyard and like sun in the backyard, but
yeah.
uh there's not a beach to go do that on and stuff, but I'm sure we would if the beach was there. So it's a accessibility to things around you as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Do you guys ever go out to the not the canyon, but some of the hikes around Vegas?
We will occasionally. It depends. Like you need your free day to be able to go do that.
Yeah,
And so going up to like Mount Charleston, it wouldn't be so bad. But again, that's like it's a 45-minute drive. So if you want to go up there and get out of the heat, you go up to the top of the mountain. It's 45 minutes away. And then there's the same things that you do, the hikes, the trails, um, the little like one place to shop, type of stuff. But
yeah,
there's other things around too. There's other trails and canyons, but it's March, and if anybody knows, like the spring in Las Vegas is like 2 weeks long, and then it's summer, and it's starting to get up there, and it's already we're having heat warnings already this year, and so we're up above 80 degrees plus now, so it's getting pretty warm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to be careful of that, hey.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So anyway,
All right.
if you want,
So what we're gonna go over today is a couple things. First off, I want to address a comment we got on the last video that says I don't know, Gwain. I don't know, is that a Australian term? GWAN? Gwen,
Go on.
JK, you call him out on that curl. So was telling you to call me out on being able to curl as much as I do. And they wrote, prove it penalty. Love to Anthony. I believe you. And JK, I just want you to tell people, did I do the curl or not?
Gwen, yes, Anthony did prove it because no joke. No, it wasn't the day of. No, it was the day of. About 2 hours after the podcast, I got a video recording of Anthony curling. What was it? 60?
It was a 60-pound dumbbell because that was we have dumbbells all the way up to 60, and then it jumps to my next lightest dumbbell after that is 80, and I can't do an 80. So I did the
Yeah.
heaviest that I could do that I had, and that was a
And
60, which is almost 30 kilos, 27 and a half kilos.
a half, yeah. Yeah. So I'll be honest, yes, Anthony was able to curl the 60, which I'm very
Without
impressed.
swinging.
Yeah. Without, no, correct. Without swinging, it was a very valid rep. And then I was able to video record me back to Anthony curling roughly about a 10 pound, 10 pound dumbbell. So yeah, so that's where we're at.
I thought you sent me a shake weight. I thought that's what you were. No.
Please.
So anyway, all right, yeah. So that was one of the comments we got. Another comment was, love what you guys do. Great leaders in this sport. So thank you guys for your comments on the videos this past week. Just wanted to read those real quick and tell you guys thanks. And then what we're gonna go over today. So what I have on the list today is we should probably, since we've teased it a couple of times, talk about VO2 max and velocity of VO2 max just a little bit. Um, and I also want to talk about the CrossFit Open is done. How did
Yeah.
everyone do? What did you think of the workouts? That kind of stuff. I'll give you guys a little update on my injury if you want it. And then uh, HYROX EMEA Regional in London is this week. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that as well.
Awesome. Sounds good. Where do we want to start?
Uh, let's see. Let's do the CrossFit Open first. That's concluded, and that's a good
Yep.
place to start. And then we'll talk about HYROX EMEA. And then if you guys are looking for the VO2 Max talk, skip ahead a few minutes.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. So the CrossFit Open. There's 3 workouts. Just real fast, what the 3 workouts are. The first one, 26.1, was the wall ball and box jump over, and then wall ball, and then box jump over, and then wall ball and med ball step over pyramid, up and back down. JK did that. If you didn't watch it, JK put up a YouTube video of himself doing it, and he biffs it. He totally goes ankles over neck on one of the reps.
I was
Uh,
lucky that I was lucky I didn't get injured from that, but yeah, if
get
you want to
hurt.
watch, it was
I think you're lucky you didn't like break your wrist or something. You were carrying the med ball and like you go tumbling over and your like arm hits the ground.
I
Um,
know, but it
going
was all
just,
good. Yeah,
yeah. So
it,
you're
it
good
was
on that. Your YouTube video explains it well, but I like in your video how you talk about, oh yeah, I felt like my ankles were up at the ceiling and all this stuff. And like we watched the
fun.
video and you're like barely above the box, but you are falling over.
Yeah. Uh, it was a great workout, nonetheless.
Yeah. So, and then the second workout at the CrossFit Open was over dumbbell overhead walking lunges, dumbbell snatches, and then pull-ups round 1, chest to bars round 2, and bar muscle ups for the third round. Or ring muscle ups, sorry, ring muscle ups for the third round.
Yeah.
Was a pretty quick one, good one. I think that's the one that just we weren't able to do. And then the last workout that was announced last week, it was actually announced, guys. I cut out a section of our podcast last week because we talked about our guesses about what the workout was going to be, but I let the it took me a couple days to get the episode out. So we talked about it, but the workout was already out by the time we talked about it. So I just cut that part out.
Yeah.
Um, so 26.3 though, I really like this workout, by the way.
Mm.
Burpees, cleans, burpees, thrusters. You do 6 rounds of it, 12 reps each. So 12 burpees over the bar, 12 cleans, 12 burpees over the bar, 12 thrusters for 6 rounds. The first 2 rounds are at weight number one. The second 2 rounds are at weight number two. And the last 2 rounds are at weight number three. It's 4 time with a 16-minute cap. So I actually really liked all the workouts in this year's Open, but I especially liked workouts number one and three.
Yeah.
And I believe I told the Hybrid Engine Town Hall yesterday, and I'm going to tell you, JK, as well. You should expect to see these workouts, those two workouts especially, a couple times over the next year.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Um, I
It's
like
real
that
cool.
last workout, the 144 burpees. I think is a great, just like power loading workout,
Yeah.
especially with the weights being used. I might not increase the weights for you. I'd probably just start at like that middle weight and have you do 6 rounds of it and see how you feel, type of stuff. But yeah, I love the workout.
Yeah. And just on that, I did the 26.1, so the wall ball box step over box jump, and then I did 26.3 as well the other day. And I was able to get up to the what did I should just know the exact reps. Apologies, but I got up to the first round of um, the heaviest thruster,
Yeah.
right?
So
So
you got up to the fifth. You were in the fifth round, and you were on the thrusters at that weight,
I was on the thrusters, yeah, yeah. So
which was
and like
60 kilos or 61 kilos for you.
61 kilo, yeah, 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 yeah. So that's a fairly heavy thruster for me. I'll be honest. I was able to get one or two out, I think, until and then it was then I got time capped. But yeah, I can see why you like them. And then like as you said, like you can that workout there, right? You can play around with the weights of it if you need to. Um, but the actual reps of it is cool. 12, 12, 12. 12 burpees, 12 cleans, 12, sorry, 12, 12, 12, 12. 12 burpees, 12 cleans, 12 burpees, 12 thrusters. Yeah, that was good.
And to make it a little bit more specific for everybody in HYROX, because burpee over a bar is not super specific to HYROX because you're going laterally. We don't have a lot of lateral jumping here. So if you actually want to switch the workout a little bit, you could just do like 20 meters or 25 meters as a down and back, and your bar's on one side every time. But every
Yeah,
time your burpees would just be something that gets you that. So you're doing burpee broad jumps like 10 to 12 reps, 10 to
yeah,
15 reps, whatever distance that is for you. And that would be great. So I would do, for me, it would probably be 25 meters, 12 and a
meters.
half meters down, 12 and a half meters back, always doing the barbell on one end. I would repeat that workout.
Yeah,
So it'd be
yeah.
25 meters, 25 meters. So every round's 50 meters. It's 300 meters of burpee broad jump.
I'm assuming that's going to be in the program at some
Oh
point
yeah.
then.
You should expect
Yeah.
to see that maybe in the build up to Worlds, but definitely after Worlds.
So, question on that though, Anthony. Like you say, yeah, no, and I agree. The lateral burpee over bar isn't necessarily specific towards HYROX, which is agreed. We don't do any lateral movement, right? Like what like yeah, I don't know. Like there are definitely still benefits from doing burpees like that, just for the sake of changing up the burpee, I guess. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
So that to me, so that's why we probably wouldn't do it in the lead up to Worlds, but that to me would fall under the general fitness, the
Right.
big broad general fitness we do in that block that is, July to December or January. Uh,
Yeah.
of just like where you try to make sure your body's ready for any sort of fitness that could come your way.
Yeah.
So lateral movement, even though we don't really do that in HYROX, unless you want to count like turning with the kettlebells and a farmer carry, Um,
Yeah.
but we're not having like everything's frontal plane in HYROX, right? Like we're skiing, we're in one plane of motion. We're not having any twist turns or lateral movement. You're running, it's frontal plane running. We do have some small turns, but it's not like you're like having to, well, I could say, you're if you're weaving in and out of people, there's your lateral, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but for the most part, it's not um, highly measured part of a HYROX race.
Yeah.
That being said, if you do a deca fit, there's lateral movement in the deca fit with the
Yep.
box jump or step overs, so there's just differences, but we do a lot of lateral movement as our general fitness and always to keep us healthy. But if you're trying to be specific to the race, I would probably make it bar facing burpees or burpee broad jumps or burpee to plate, something that directly addresses pieces that we do. Now, we say this all the time, like, oh, it's broad fitness, and it's broad fitness. But as you're dialing in, we're 3 months now, we are in the window of let's get specific for the world championships. As we dial in, it's like, okay, let's practice more specific movement. Additionally, with that, if you're brand new to the sport and you have never done the movements, you
Mm.
should still specifically practice these movements. Like you should get the pattern repetition down and
Yeah.
then like while still expanding your general fitness.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you have somebody that just came from powerlifting or somebody that was a runner, they all they've ever done is run. And some of the things you have to do with them first is actually get them into the range of motion of the movements. You need to have them just do some walking lunges, just do some burpee
Yeah.
broad jumps, just do some wall balls and squats. Like they need to get the movement patterns down. So you have to be specific with that, but you still need to expand their general fitness. So like you do some loaded squats, you do some loaded um, just lunges. You do some um, higher jumps, further jumps,
Yeah.
push-ups, like things like that. Like you would address those criteria, but you at the same time you'd want to do some agility drills too. You know,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely. Yeah. 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 But like as you just said, like when we talk about like a yearly macro kind of program or cycle, there are times and places that a workout like this, doing the lateral burpees is beneficial,
yeah,
because you're still getting the benefits from doing a burpee and focusing on just the movement pattern of a burpee, whether it is lateral or not. But as you just said, like time and place, right? But it's funny. I've been actually thinking about that a lot lately with my programming and coaching, Anthony. Like how much of HYROX is frontal plane motion. There's no, or sorry, very minimal rotation, lateral movement. And in my head, it's funny when I go for my runs, my easy runs, I always think about these type of things. I'm like, does that mean lateral movement doesn't matter? Does that mean lateral movement or rotational movement patterns doesn't matter? And my answer is like, no, it doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't matter. Um, but as you just said, it's just time and place.
well, it absolutely matters because think about this, like you might run into unexpected things. What if you have to cut around somebody when you're running? What if you are sprinting through the rock zone and somebody's walking and you have to like make an adjustment? What if you pick up the kettlebells at a bad angle and are twisting while you're lifting them? Like you don't want to
Yeah,
be out of position and you need your body ready for that, you know? And so we have to shore up everything because nothing's going to be perfect. We're not going to perfectly set our body, brace our core, and then lift when we're picking up the sandbag and doing like a sandbag clean. A lot of people pick up the sandbag and twist it around them, you know.
yeah,
It's the reason we always still do kettlebell suitcase carries and kettlebell suitcase holds and uh, dumbbell Russian twists and like side
mm,
planks and things like that. We got to work that rotational motion and we got to
yeah,
work that ability to brace in different planes. But the general, 95% of your movement in HYROX is singular plane motion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, cool.
And it helps prevent injury. You don't like if you're so fixated on one thing. So like I'm only focusing on running straight forward and not going left or right or turning, and I'm only lunging straight forward and not worried about like twisting or turning with the kettlebells or if my wall ball falls off center and I have to like use a little bit more of my right side than my left, like that type of stuff, then when those little instances happen, that could lead to injury, and you don't want to get injured, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty important in terms of like staying healthy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so just real quick, back to the CrossFit Open. Um, Fantastic Open, I think. I think it was really good. I think it was a good measurement of fitness. I think people did really well. Um, I'm gonna always shout out my wife. I think she did awesome. I really wish we could have got in 26.2, but it just fell. 26.2 is at the same time. She went and won the Americas Championship and set a world record that weekend. So like, what are you gonna do instead? Uh,
Yeah.
so it was worth it. But I actually think looking at the scores and everything, she finished eighth in 26.1 and 16th in 26.3. Um, so
Wow.
actually those are her two best ever CrossFit Open finishes in any single workouts, which is really cool. I mean, she's had some good finishes before, but two workouts within the top 20 and one in the top 10. If she would have got that, she almost made quarterfinals without doing the second workout. She didn't even submit a score for the second workout. So I think she missed quarterfinals by like 1,000 spots, which is pretty small in terms of like the grand scheme of things. It was only a couple points. But if she did do 26.2, I really think like my guess is she finishes between 10 and 11 minutes. I think she could go sub 10, but I definitely think she could go sub 11. So if she went 11 minutes, I wrote this down because I wanted to remember it. If she finished at exactly 11 minutes, that would have been 627th place in that workout, and she would have finished 129th overall in the Open.
Wow.
I think she does better than that. She only needs a few places to do better than that, and she would have finished top 100 overall in the Open, which is just astounding.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, so could have been cool, but still, I think just fantastic. She went and I think it should count. She went and won a regional HYROX race and set a world record in doubles on that weekend instead.
Yeah.
Um, I also did the workout, but I think I told you I did it very, very conservatively.
Which
Um,
one? Point two.
26.3.
Point
No,
three.
I couldn't do point two. Oh my God, I could not do point two. That was a mess. I actually went to go try it the day it was released, and it was not possible to be done at that current state. Uh, but I went and did 26.3, and I was very like cautious every time I dropped to the ground, which usually wrestling background, when I drop to the ground for burpees, I'm just sprawling out and like smashing it uh,
Yeah.
and not worrying and like bouncing off the ground in my burpees. That did not happen. I was very like controlled in all my burpees on this one. Ended up getting into the fifth round, a few burpees into the fifth round just to start with. Um, I wish I could have like not done that. I might have been able to get to that first thruster bar at 135. I would have liked that
Well, you can have a crack when your neck's
when
good
I'm
again.
better. Oh, I will. I will.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that was good. And then I thought 26.1 was good. I think there's going to be some machines and some higher skills in the quarterfinals. So obviously, I didn't make the quarterfinals with missing a workout. Neither did Lauren, but it'd be still, I still might do the workouts, but I'll be in London next weekend when they're released and due.
Yeah,
So
cool.
Anyway, if you guys have any opinions about the CrossFit Open, and I know we're talking about hybrid fitness, but you know what? This might make somebody mad. CrossFit is hybrid fitness.
Ooh,
So
he said it. He said it. I
it's
totally agree. Though. And like, why do we compare CrossFit and HYROX or hybrid fitness? It's the same.
well, I wouldn't say it's the same, but the methodology of CrossFit I think might be lost. Is that if anybody goes back and listens to Greg Glassman, um, who the you could say the creator of HYROX, he talks
Oh,
about it too. That what he did with sorry, CrossFit, not
yeah.
HYROX. What he
Uh-huh.
did, what he did with fitness was just define fitness within certain scientific parameters instead of arbitrary values. He said the definition is the power output, the amount, that you're able to sustain your capacity, your fitness is uh, equal to the amount that you're able to sustain output for,
Yeah.
like that's what it is. And so it's power, sustained power. And he defined it and then said, well, if you do this workout and this workout, and then he didn't invent like circuit training. And like I've listened to his past things too. He even says like, yeah, wrestlers have been doing this for years. Gymnasts have been doing this for years, like decades, it wasn't new. He just defined it and then created his methodology off of that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, okay. After that, that's why I just think like there doesn't need to be animosity between any high
No,
roxers and CrossFitters. I think that it's very complementary. Both should exist in harmony.
absolutely. Yeah. And yeah,
Um,
that's exactly what I mean by it's the same because it's no, there's differences, but
they're complementary.
yeah, 100%. Hey, if I've always said this, if you walk into the gym, apart from if I'm running, you probably go, oh, he looks like he's training CrossFit sometimes more than HYROX because a lot of our movements and programming is or looks like CrossFit, but it's not. It's just general fitness. General
Hey,
fitness.
I tell you what, CrossFitters should be running.
CrossFit
So
should.
running should be is part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, all right, going on from there, let's go into EMEA and we'll get to
Yeah.
VO2 at the end. VO2 is going to be more than one episode anyway. So um, EMEA regionals is this weekend coming up. And then right after that, JK, we're going to record next week. And then I am going on a flight to London because I am going to be at the HYROX Coaches Summit.
Yep.
It's really cool. It's at Twickenham Stadium. Uh,
Nice.
I think, guys, if you're there and you want a session to go to, I have my session that you can sign up for. It's coaching high performance athletes in HYROX. It's Saturday, March 28th from 13:15. So what's that? 1:15 in the afternoon to 1400, so 2 p.m.
And the topic is coaching high performance athletes in HYROX.
Coaching high performance athletes in HYROX.
I already know half your I
It
already know
is
half your spiel.
what's that?
I already know half your spiel. It's about slowing us down, Anthony.
I mean, that's always a part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a PowerPoint. It's going to be like lecture, maybe a little bit stand up, like and talk. And I kind of focus on movement quality and three pillars that you need to do basically when uh, coaching high performance athletes. And those three things primarily are like, you need to be proficient in programming and science. You need to be uh, emphatic. You have to be able to like relate and like be trustworthy to the athletes. And finally, you need to be an expert. You need to be and that means a lot of things, but uh, you need to know, and I tell you this, JK, who do you think like when we're talking about it, as a coach, I think the coach, you should know the rule book as an athlete, but I feel like I know it pretty in depth. Like I need to know things you are and are not allowed to do, um, and be able to advise you on that type of stuff. And so, just talking
Yeah.
about being an athlete in several areas. So if you guys want more on that, hit up the Coaches Summit. It's March 28th, from 1:15 to 2 p.m. At Twickenham Stadium in the HYROX Coaches Summit. Additionally, I will be on a panel for center talking about center equipment and its use in HYROX and use in training.
Cool. I've actually got a few athletes who are going to your going to your high performance seminar, Anthony. That day, like a few of my athletes have said, "Hey, like we've seen Anthony doing his talk, so they're popping along. So hopefully you get to meet these athletes of mine. So yeah,
That'd
it's
be great.
exciting.
I was told that it's been very, very popular to sign up for, and there are only a couple spots left. So I was like, oh, cool. And I kind of get competitive. I'm like, so are there like ones sold out already? Like, who is it? And they're like, well, the one that like everybody is that it's sold out for is Jane Erbacher's Erg Army, like
Yeah,
because they're gonna have ergs there and demonstrate, and so everybody's gonna get to pull and like actually work
yeah,
out. I was like, oh, maybe I should have done that and been like, here's how you like movement, focus more on movement quality. But I'm still really close to being sold. I want to see if I can get to one of the sellouts as well.
yeah, yeah. Cool.
So, guys, if you want to sign up for it, like I said, March 28th. That's in 11 days from when we're recording this. But before that, the EMEA regional, very exciting for this one. I'm sure a lot of athletes are there. We've talked about this one a couple times already in terms of the regionals. This is by far, I don't know if I'd say most competitive, but the deepest field, like the
Yeah,
hardest to qualify for.
yeah, for sure.
Because just like, for example, on the women's side right now at a worldwide major, it takes a sub 61 average to get in. And in the EMEA regional, it's a 61:28 to get in. So they're only 30 seconds back. Like you only get a
Wow.
30-second grace in terms of what it takes to get in on the women's side, for the major. On the men's side, it takes 55:31 average in order to get in to the elite um, London EMEA regional, and that's only 40 seconds back of what it takes to get into um, the next major, the Warsaw major. So,
Yeah.
or not even, yeah, it's 32 seconds back. So that's pretty crazy that it's that close. Like, yeah, there is a grace in terms of like the little bit, but it's not near the 2 or 3 minute grace that the Americas regional had, and it's the 4 or 5 minute grace the Apex regional is going to have. That's not to say the top isn't super competitive, but yeah, very, very much um, a competitive field, a deep field.
Yep, correct. Yeah, yeah. It's going to be is that on Friday? The solos on Friday night London and then Saturday night the doubles?
I believe so. That Yeah. Friday is the solo and Saturday is the doubles. Uh, it takes place at 7:30 p.m. in Central European time. No, this is UK time. So what that means is 7:30 p.m. We've already had our time change, so I think that's why we were off. I was already an hour
Oh, that's
early today,
right.
JK. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's why we were off starting this. Is that would be 12:30 p.m. for me,
yeah.
Pacific time, for the women's start, and 2 p.m. for me for the men's start. For you, I think that's 2 a.m. and 4 a.m.
Maybe, yeah. I think you're right there.
So, oh
Or
wait, no, no.
no,
What time is it for you right now?
Right now it's 6:42 a.m.
So 6:42 a.m. So the men's start for you will be 7 a.m. on Saturday.
Okay. Okay.
The women's start would be 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's not too bad. Yeah. Um,
Uh, and then the doubles are the exact same times, just one day later.
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go over who's in it, or what do you think? I mean, we don't have to go over all of this because I really do want to talk about VO2. Uh, so just real
Yeah.
quick, JK, men's Elite 15. Um, what, who do you think wins, and who do you think gets the qualifying spot?
I think I'm gonna actually say I think Alex will still will continue his
I don't think Alex is racing.
oh really?
Yeah, I think, let me see. You keep going. If you think go, who do you think gets the qualifying spot?
I think Thomas Verdick will get the qualifying spot. I think he's showed his fitness a lot like over the last couple of majors, and he's just missed out. So there's a part of me that really hopes he gets it as well. He deserves it. Thomas Verdick, but hey, like there's like at least two or three others just closely behind him that could potentially get it as well. So, but yeah, if Alex is racing, having the likes of Alex, Tim, of course, then you have Charlie and Sean Noble. It's going to be a hot race right from the word go. Um, and I know for a fact that a few of them have already said that they're going to go out very hot. So we'll see if that kind of um, we'll see if that's worth it or not. Right, like by the end.
So I don't know if this is right, but from what I have in terms of the 15 right now, and I'm guys, I'll listen to this later, but I've pulled up Race Brain because I knew they were doing their draft today, so I looked at their list. And they have Ronkovic and Josh Van Zeelen as the two in the 15 that are out. So it rolls all the way down to 17 to Sebastian Ifferson.
Okay, right.
Um, but oh, they have another one. They have Alan Cow in there as well.
So
Um,
3 roll downs.
so three roll down. So I don't know who else they have taken out, but I would see it. So I don't know where they got that from, but hey, if they're right, then we'll see. That means that Jake Dearden would be the first roll down based on
Yeah,
their list. So good luck to him. So from what I've seen, what do you think the top is between then the winner? Is it from the men already qualified, which you have Tim Vinesh, Hide Wiersma, Sean Noble, uh, and Charlie Botterill? I think those are the four guys already qualified. Do one of them take the win, or does the guy who qualifies take the win, like in the Americas Regional?
I think one of the guys who have already qualified will win, and then the guy who qualifies will be 30 seconds to a minute behind.
Yeah.
And as I said, my pick there, if I did have to pick, would be Thomas Verdick. So I think Thomas will be about 45 seconds behind the winner of the race. But hey, like as we all know, like HYROX is an interesting sport. Like it could be totally different to what I just said, right? So
Yeah,
um,
it could go anyway.
yeah,
Um,
for sure.
I I think the win comes from one of those guys, and it's going to be hard to pick. You know, Charlie's basically a home race. We haven't seen Hide in a while, but man, he put on a show. And Tim,
Yeah,
like winning Melbourne, winning Worlds, like how do you pick against Tim?
Yeah,
Sean
exactly.
Noble, Sean tagged me in a story the other day uh, that I thought was pretty funny. It was like a clip of um, the leader just saying like, we don't have the
Yeah, I saw
capacity, and then he started crying. And when we were in Phoenix, Sean was in the lead after the farmer carry, and I just told him as he was running by me, I go, you're 4 seconds up on the world record. And he said that that's all he thought of was that clip of like, I don't have the capacity to keep it, like I'm just gonna fail. So it'd be interesting to see how he does and see if I know that he's put out there that he's actually going for it. So it'd be great to see like him
yeah.
pushing Hide and Tim in the race. And then Charlie Wildcard just ran a great race in Glasgow. So it'd be great to see him. He had a 4 second PR in Glasgow. So,
Yeah.
that's an upward trend. See if he does it again. Um, in terms of who gets the qualifying spot, yeah, I'm gonna say just like you did, I think it goes to Tomas. Um, I think he does get it, but interesting would be, Graham Holiday is really good when he's not traveling as well, and he puts up some good times. So it'd be good to see Graham Holiday take the spot, or like Harry Thompson, somebody in from the local area. But and we saw how well Luke Greer did in Phoenix in terms of his running. So I think Luke Greer is going to go out super hot and he's going to keep up on all the runs, especially with the guys that are there. So it just depends on can he hold it on through the stations.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a hot race, that's for sure.
Oh, and I should have said actually Charlie got an 11-second PB in Glasgow, not 4 second. I was looking at the wrong time. Um, but yeah, some great racing coming up. What about the women's side?
The women's side. Just remind me we've got who has already qualified. We've got Lucy
So
Proctor,
already
Sinead.
qualified would be Lena Putters, Linda Meyer, Lucy Proctor, and Sinead Bent.
Yep. So four. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily have a pick for that. It could go to any of those four women in my eyes. I think the qualifying spot is up for grabs. Well, sorry, it's if she has a great race, sorry, not Amelia, Emily Darman. Emily Darman should be confident that she can, if she can put out what she did in the women's pro in Phoenix that she did the night after, she'll be able to secure that. And I think there's a couple of others that are close behind her as well. But my take is Emily for that qualifying spot.
Yeah, I'd I probably have to say Emily for the qualifying spot. I think it's I mean, there's some strong women in this field, and I wouldn't discount like Kat Parnell or Melanie Marr. For or Ellie Stenfors for getting it. But I actually think like Danelle Lowe, Emily Dahmen, and Seka Arning have got to be the ones that like one of
Yeah.
those three, I would assume it's got to be a favorite to get it. Um,
Hmm.
just because I think like Danelle Lowe went up to what was it, Istanbul for its first ever race and went sub 60. Like we saw what Emily did 2 days after the elite race in Phoenix. She went sub 60 on that Phoenix course. And then Seka Arning has been one spot away from qualifying, I think like twice this year. She was one spot away from qualifying like twice last year. And then she got her qualifying spot in Glasgow last year. Like I just think there's some good upward trends for all these ladies in terms of who's going to get it. But like Kat Parnell and Ellie Stenfors have had really strong races. So,
Yeah.
and Jana Liebenstedt has had some really strong races recently, two sub 60 races, or sub
Yeah.
61, sorry. Um, and Manuela Garcia Caparros, like she started off the year really strong. And so like just to see her get back into that would be good. So like there are some really good women in here that I think can take the spot. In terms of those top four, I think the podium will come from that a mix of those four though.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
four that are already qualified. And just because I coach her, I don't want to put any pressure on her or anything, but I think um, Lucy Racing, like she's just had a terrific year. She's fantastic. And
Yeah.
I think, anytime she steps up to the line, she's going to be a threat to win or podium. So I'd see if the race goes out like this, it's probably Lucy. I bet you Lena Putters probably tries to go out fast. She already has a qualifying spot, so why not try something? Same thing kind of with Linda and Sinead, all four of them actually. So it could be a war of attrition going through the race.
Yeah. Absolutely. It'll be exciting to watch. Very
Yeah,
exciting to watch.
should be really good. What about doubles? You want to talk about the doubles for a second?
Yep. I
Um,
have no idea with the doubles. Who's actually racing? Who's actually pairing up?
well, for the doubles, the team that in Phoenix was right there with um, Jess and Joe was Danelle and Vicky, and
That's
they're
right.
racing. So we're
Yep.
gonna get to see maybe we'll get to see Danelle and Vicky versus Lucy and Sinead now,
Yep.
which would be a great race, you know. Um, and then there's some other really good teams. Like I don't know what teams are in, but Ida Matilde Stingsgaard is racing with LA Stenfers. They have a time up there.
Mm.
Manuel Garcia Camparos is racing with Seka Arning. I think they got their spot in Melbourne on the right
They
on
did.
the roll. Yeah. So and then this is actually a team I'm excited to watch because I'm curious how they're going to go. So this past weekend in Glasgow, Saskia Millard uh, is a marathoner. I think she took second in Glasgow and she had like 30 seconds of penalties and she still took second. She got like a 62 with 30 seconds of penalties. Um,
Yep.
I'm pretty sure she's like a 230 something female marathoner. Um,
Wow.
and then Holly Archer is also an extremely fast marathoner. They're teamed up. They're running a doubles race um, there.
That's
So
exciting.
it's pretty exciting to see what the teams are. Um,
Yeah.
and then we'll also get to see Melanie and Jennifer Nicklaus. So I think there are some really strong teams in this field. It's going to be great to see them go.
Yep. For sure. And what about the men's
Um,
side?
on the men's side, see if it pulls up. There we go. Um, you got Mark Dean and Alan Cow, 49:10 as their PR. Jake Williamson and Charlie Botterill. I don't know if they're actually running together, but they got a 49:17 as their PR. Um, Alex and Tim are on the list, but I don't know if they're actually running if Alex isn't going to run solo. So it'd just be interesting to see if they did. But then you have the Danes, Gustav Correa and Sebastian Ifferson um, in there as well. You have, depending on how many of these teams actually race, there's 11 male teams with sub 50 times.
Wow.
And
That's
then
crazy.
12th, the 12th team on that list is Tony Ravel and Kieran Parkinson with a 50 flat.
Wow. Wow. That's
Like,
crazy.
yeah,
Um,
really, really quick.
I know that. So going back to Jake and Charlie, I know Jake Williamson is actually racing with Jake Dearden.
Okay.
They're racing together. So I think Charlie and Ollie, is it Ollie Russell? Charlie
Ollie Russell and Charlie are racing together.
together. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're sitting there at 50.02, and Jake Williamson and Jake Dearden are at 50.06. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're right in the top 15 still. So, and then you have Hide Wiersma and Cherry Willingenberg,
Yeah. Right. There you go.
and Jeremy McConnell and Fabian Eisenlauer, who are already qualified for Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sean Noble and Ollie Fricker. Wow, there's some good teams here.
Yeah, yeah. That's going to be exciting as well.
I think here's my question then. Looking at this, um, I see Alex is on two of the teams sub 50. So let's just say over under 7 teams, 50 minutes in the men's pro elite
I
that
don't
that
think.
that finish under 50 minutes.
Um, I'm gonna say over. Like I can't see more than 7 teams going under 50 in one race. I know I'm
So
not
we'll
saying
say it's 6.5. So seven teams, you think?
I don't
So
think I
you
don't
don't
think
think so under. You're saying you're gonna say under 6.5.
sorry, under 6.5. Yeah, I don't think like I no doubt like obviously these guys and the teams have done it before, but I can't see it happening in one race. Just can't see it happening in one race.
I think there were two or three teams that did it in DC. So
Yeah,
uh be interesting. I think two. There was two men's teams that did it in DC. So it'd be interesting to see um how many actually do go. But there's 11 on the list, but it looks like Jake Williamson is on two of them, Alex Ronkovic's on two of them. And then there's, a couple that are right at that 50-minute line. So going
yeah.
to be interesting. I'm gonna say under as well, but I think it's gonna be close. I think there's gonna be 6 teams that go under 50 minutes.
Wow, wow. That'll be exciting to watch.
Yeah, it'd be fast. All right. So if anybody's been waiting for the VO2 max discussion, JK, your definition, tell me what is VO2 max?
Well, I actually had to kind of go back and really try to understand VO2 Max even more the last couple of weeks because I knew we were going to talk about it. Because we don't we don't really talk about it a lot. We don't really go into detail about it or train it a lot. Now, going back to what you just asked, Anthony, what is VO2 Max? Well, in my eyes and in my words, it's the maximal amount of oxygen your body can use, right? Use, and it's normally measured per minute, right? Um, and for the measurement, the higher VO2 max normally suggests that you've got a higher potential of endurance. So that's my definition. And yeah, it's just I look. Well, I'll ask you, Anthony, the same question, but sometimes I think it's a misinterpreted measurement, I guess, or uh, uh, specific way of training because of like trying to understand what actually VO2 max is, right? So and it's usually measured just going back to it, it's usually measured in oxygen per kilogram of body weight. That's correct. Milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of body weight per minute. Right. Anyway, higher the VO2 max, I guess, equals or sorry, can equal, and that's the biggest for me to say is can equal like a um, bigger engine, bigger like endurance engine, then someone with a lower VO2 max can potentially have a smaller engine or can, I guess, like fatigue faster, right?
and the biggest kind of word here is like potential. Doesn't mean anything, but potentially having a bigger engine if you have a bigger VO2 max or vice versa. Anthony, what about you? What's your kind of thoughts on all that and your definition?
So to me, like VO2 max, when we talk about it, it's the maximum oxygen uptake. So like how much oxygen your body can take in at any given time, right? That's like scientific definition kind of it. But to me, when somebody like I think of it as, in the gym, people will say, "Yo, bro, what's your max bench?" Right? It's kind of like that, but for aerobic fitness. Yo, bro, what's your VO2 max? Right? Like, just say it as an impressive number. You talk about these guys that are like, oh, they're over 100 now. Like we talk about, like they're crazy high, like 70 is an astounding number for your VO2 max. Um, and like elite athlete status is really high and stuff like that. But what does it actually mean? If I was to tell you, I'm a CrossFitter or I'm a HYROX athlete. Yeah, bro, my max bench press is like 365. You're like, cool. Does that mean you're good at HYROX? Like,
Yeah,
is it exactly correlated? And it's not exactly like that, but it's kind of, like what is this?
kind of.
And what it actually is that what they measure when they measure VO2 max is you put the mask on if you're doing a gas exchange test, and it's like, okay, how much oxygen are you breathing in versus how much oxygen comes out after respiration,
Yeah,
and you do it at different intensity levels, basically until you reach a level that's like at the next step, you didn't progress more than 300 milliliters per kilogram or something like that within the minute. Or like once you hit the plateau, right? That's technically where your limit of your VO2 max is.
yeah,
So that's why I think it's always interesting that like if somebody ever talks about, oh, I've measured 1,000 people, 2,000, 5,000 people, I've measured their VO2 max. It's like, okay, um, that's a procedure that we've gone through. It's like somebody, I've baked 1,000 cakes. So, okay, you're really good at baking cakes.
yeah,
Do they taste good, or did you bake the same type of cake?
yeah,
Uh, so it doesn't mean that you know how to create a new cake and make a good cake. It just means that you made it. Um, it tells me nothing else about it. So
yeah,
in terms of
yeah,
like what VO2 max is, I just want to go over a little bit about what it is. So when you breathe in, right, I take oxygen from the air. I create a negative pressure differential to get oxygen down my larynx, into my lungs, down through my bronchi, into my bronchioli and my area, um, that alveoles, is that what they are? Where the diffusion happens. That's where like the little capillaries meet these alveoli, and oxygen's on one side, or the air is on one side, and the blood runs through the other side, and it cycles through the amount of capillaries, and the oxygen exchanges through diffusion, goes back into my heart, and then my heart pumps it to my body where it needs to go. Right? Several things can affect how much of our oxygen is in just that portion. We have one, how much oxygen you're actually breathing in, how much total volume you as a human can inhale at one time. We have how pure the air is that you're actually breathing in, how much oxygen you're actually taking in through that. Our atmospheric oxygen is anywhere like 19 to 21%. So like how much you're actually taking in, and then how well does your body actually diffuse it? You put on like a pulse oximeter and you say, oh, I have 96% oxygen. Okay, what does that mean? Well, my diffusion rate is like you could say is like 96%. But in well-trained athletes, they've seen studies that well-trained athletes under exertion are only at like 85%. They're almost hypoxic because their blood, the amount of time the blood is staying in the capillaries is moving so fast it doesn't get the full exchange, but they have so many capillaries that they've
mm,
developed and built up that it gets into all of them, right? So like they're able to get in terms of volume of oxygen a lot.
yeah,
Now, how is that oxygen used? Why is it important? Well, our blood is a transport system. The transport system takes the oxygen to the muscles and basically delivers oxygen to the mitochondria so that it can take place in the oxygen cycle, right? So like it'll go through, and then you can create basically everything's to create more ATP that we use to burn energy, and then it's carried back. So you have all these failure points, like, well, what happens if I'm able to breathe in a lot of oxygen, but I can't diffuse a lot of oxygen? Or what if I don't have a lot of uh, bronchi or bronchioli, or what if I don't have enough capillaries around where the alveoli are that diffuse the blood? What if my diffusion rate's low? Well, what if my uh, heart isn't pumping the blood fast enough, or it's pumping it too fast, or it doesn't stay in the capillaries long enough, or I don't have enough capillaries in the muscle structure where it eventually goes. Because guys, your blood doesn't really, it's kind of a closed system. It doesn't like leave your veins and arteries. It goes into capillaries and then it's pumped back out. Like it exchanges. We're not just empty blood inside. When you cut yourself and you get like a wound or something, it's because you cut open capillaries that are innervated or inside every aspect of your body, right? And they go smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you just get down to like the lowest possible size, and then that's where they exchange this oxygen. So, and then is that a limiter? Is the amount of oxygen that your mitochondria can use, is that the limiter? Or is it your blood vessels, how much they can carry? Like, there's so many different limiters to it. But what we measure is I breathe in oxygen, I breathe out CO2, or I breathe in air, how much percentage of air is breathed in versus how much percentage of that air is oxygen coming out. Does that make sense? So we're not measuring each little aspect through that chain. So when you talk about VO2 max, it's like, okay, yeah, I have a great VO2 max. And so what I view VO2 max as is it's a parameter that can kind of indicate fitness level to a wide range. So like somebody that's down in they got a VO2 max of 20, they're very unhealthy, sitting on the couch all day. They can rapidly improve that VO2 max just by getting up, doing aerobic work, rapidly improve it, right? You can get high pretty quickly. And that's great. You should aim to have, if you're not competing for performance, just in terms of overall health, getting a higher VO2 max can make you more healthy. So you should strive for that. But it's not something we constantly need to measure because in so many studies, VO2 max does not correlate to performance. Like somebody with a 90 VO2 max can be beaten by somebody that has a 70 VO2 max. If VO2 max was the only indicator of fitness, then we would just measure everybody's VO2 max and be like, you're the fittest person on earth. There you go. Game over, but it doesn't correlate like that. So, not to say that it's not important, but I think people will put a lot of emphasis on it, in terms of like how important it is. Now, I always think it's better to measure something than to measure nothing, right? So if it's the only thing you're going off of, go for it. I don't think it's the best thing in my opinion, but if it's something is better than nothing. I think that's really important to state. So I don't use VO2 max often or very much, often ever. But something that is interesting is that can like help you a little bit correlate to performance would be something like your velocity at your VO2 max, right? So you figure out your VO2 max. Now, okay, well, how fast are you running when you're at your VO2 max? It's not going to be a sustained pace, but it's at least something you can know.
So how can you measure? How can you understand your velocity? Right, like, and I'm trying to use myself as an example there, like, and for the listeners, we touch on VO2 max, sure, like at times that we need to, but I've never measured my VO2 max with Anthony. I remember maybe 7-8 years ago I did through playing my Aussie rules football, and that was the last time I measured VO2 max. But now with you, Anthony, I guess the question is like, why haven't we tested my VO2 max? And two, due to my threshold testing that we've done multiple times, like, does that kind of give us, can you work upwards from there and go, okay, like my velocity could be X, or how do you understand your velocity at VO2 max?
Yeah, so you can use it like as an indication of where you possibly could go for it. What I was just saying though is that like it's a parameter, like VO2 max is a parameter, and you don't want to train because like when you do train just specifically like, oh, I want to do some VO2 max workouts, like generally when you see that and all you're doing is training VO2 max and VO2 max workouts, you're training to increase the parameter and not performance.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to increase parameter. We don't, even with threshold, I like to use it as our threshold is XYZ. So it helps us because we know that in a HYROX race, running at threshold is probably the best way, and we'll get into this actually in the next episode. The best way to increase the amount of power output over a sustained duration is, well, thresholds almost measuring the same thing. So we do that measurement because we want to figure out, hey, in an hour, which is about the length of a HYROX race, can I optimize the amount of power output I'm doing over this duration? Whereas VO2 max is not the same thing. I'm going to have to go. I don't know what just happened, but there are 3 bees in my room here buzzing around, and I'm worried that there might be a beehive that is coming into my house somehow. So I am going to continue this discussion later, so I don't get stung.
Sorry about that, man.
No,
Yeah.
you're good. Thank you, everyone. Just as a reminder, before we actually go, we'll talk more about VO2 max. I'm glad we at least got something. We'll talk more about VO2 max and threshold and how it relates and why we do what we do in the next episode, as well as what I really want to get into is sustained power output and how to measure that and why you want that. So we'll get that into some future episodes. Just real fast, guys, if you haven't heard before and you're a first-time user of TheFeed, you can go to thefeed.com/THE for 40% off on your first order. You'll get 40% off anybody's first order of TheFeed, and that's basically worldwide shipping. I think there's only a couple countries they don't ship to, but you can change your shipping. There's some awesome stuff on there, and they're super supportive, not only of us, but also JK and Lauren. So always want to support them in return. And if you're not a first-time user, get your significant other to sign up and use their email as a first-time user to get 40% off.
TheFeed.com.
And
thanks,
then
guys.
share the supplement you order with them. Yep. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
How you get those bees, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm watching them right now. Thank you for listening to the Hybrid Coaching Podcast. If you'd like to reach out to us about coaching or programming, you can find us on Fitter, either James Kelly, Hybrid Coaching, or The Hybrid Engine. You can also find us on Instagram at jk.jameskelly or at The Hybrid Engine. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can also message us on either of those platforms or send us an email at thehybridcoachingpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's hybridcoachingpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.